No, Mr. McGinty and Mr. Bartolucci is using the word divest. Actually, the word divest is a verb that says to deprive or dispose of, or to rid of something unwanted. Mr. McGinty is basically saying the North is unwanted. That's what this is all about, in fact. It's about taking care of the South at the expense of the North. Well, Mr. McGinty is saying that ridership is actually down, which is, in fact, it's not. Right? That's the first thing we wanted to debunk. He talks about the support, 270, the subsidies increased 274%. He fails to point out that Metrolink subsidies increased 320%. So those are a number of the things that we wanted to nail down. But what we see is the government has no problem spending money in Southern Ontario, right? And to be honest, we don't have any problem with that. They'll spend billions and billions of dollars throughout Southern Ontario to move people either by bus or passenger train. They don't seem to want to give the same consideration to Northerners. So all we're asking is that Northerners be treated the same. The money comes out of the same pot. It's not coming out of a Northern pot and a Southern pot, right? It's coming out of all taxpayers. So we're saying we just want to be treated the same as everybody else. So there's economies of scale. The best thing to do here is to, as we said before, and we were kind of promised that during the election, that there would be a strategic alliance with the ONTC and Metrolinx to make the economies of scale work better for moving people throughout the North. So that's what we're saying. We're calling it the free road.
There's a divide between what he has said and what the ONTC is saying in regards to numbers, in regards to you saying ridership's up, making money. You said it's total opposite. Why is the divide so big for?
I just think somehow the government's convinced themselves that they got to get rid of Ontario North. And why? I would say it's bureaucrats. For some reason, the bureaucrats of Northern Development Line, we've been saying all along, have it in for us. Why? I haven't the foggiest, right? And they've somehow convinced the minister, the finance minister, and the premier that the only way to go is get rid of Ontario North.
23-cent plan, what's that all about?
Well, what we're saying is right now the government's saying it costs $5 to move a passenger through Metrolinx. So what we're saying is if you're doing this coming out, it's all coming out of the same pot, the Ontario taxpayers. So if you put Ontario Northland in with Metrolinx and took our numbers of passengers plus our subsidy and added that to Metrolinx, then when you redid the numbers, it would cost $5.23 a passenger to move people throughout the province. So that's why we're calling it the 23-cent solution. So that would increase the cost of moving people throughout Ontario from $5 to $5.23. So we think the people in Northern Ontario are worth 23 cents.
Brian, the North has come out and said, you know, not for sale, and you are garnering support everywhere you go. I'm interested to know what your fellow colleagues are saying down south, and are you picking up support from union members down there and the public down there?
Well, we've actually there's been great outpouring of support from people. They've written letters to the editor in Toronto in the Globe and Mail. I've actually had a number of people call me. I had one gentleman call me. He was just getting on the train, asking me, like, Mr. Kelly, what's going on? They're canceling the train, and he was a 519 number. So he's going, what can we do to stop it? This is crazy. You know, we have to have the train in Southern Ontario. You people need the train as well. And the most poignant one was this one woman called me and said she has 3 kids. One is disabled. She gets to and from. She lives up here in the North Bay area. She says, I get to and from doctor's appointments in Toronto via the train. How am I supposed to get there now? Because I'm supposed to take 3 children, 1 disabled, on a bus. So Mr. McGinty talks about health care. And that's important, but he's denying people access to health care by getting rid of the train. On our support from our union brethren, it's been great. Ken Loenza has been on the phone. He's been doing whatever he can, as well as the steelworkers, the Teamsters, and the IVW have all been doing the same thing. We've had calls of support saying whatever you need to do. If there's going to be a demonstration at Queen's Park, that they would like to be involved to send people out to support us. So the support is through everywhere, whether it's the chamber, the cities, the union movement has been excellent.
What's your next plan of action? I mean, you know, you've developed the 23-cent plan. How do you get their attention and what's next for
Well,
that?
our next thing is we want to get this to the Andrea Horath and the NDP caucus, who have been excellent on side with us, Mr. Vantoff and Bisson specifically have been great. We want to get this document in hand so they can refute in the legislature some of the claims that Mr. McGinty has said. But ultimately, we really believe that if this is going to get turned around, it's incumbent upon the NDP to really put some pressure on Mr. McGinty, saying that if you want to pass your budget, the ONTC cannot be put up for sale. That's what we're really saying, where the pressure should lie.
I don't hear you talking about the member here with that statement. You're taking it to the NDP.
What member? Well, as far as we're concerned, we don't have a member of Parliament. He's bought and drank the Kool-Aid with the Liberals. He sounds like he's a member of the Liberal caucus, to be perfectly honest. So we've gone to the people north of us, Mr. Vantoff and Bisson, because they're actually representing Northerners and not representing either the Liberal or the Conservative parties.
Now, I know that there is a marketing plan that the Chamber has come up with to get the ear of Rick Bartolucci, etc. What else? You know, I know there's letter writing campaigns. I guess my question is, what else can you do to turn the tide?
Well, I mean, this is one of the steps. We're actually part of that initiative with the Chamber and the city. We're putting money into hiring a consulting firm to target Minister Bartolucci and other members of Parliament. The great thing is that we're going to continue with our concerted effort. It isn't just union people talking about this. This is a heck of an alliance. You got union people, you have business people, you have municipal leaders, and members of provincial Parliament, all in one. Right, so we're just going to keep banging away at the Liberal government until somebody down there finally wakes up and realizes there's more than just Southern Ontario. There is a province north of Highway 7.
What's your time frame? I mean, each day that goes by, it's a little less.
Oh yeah, I mean, to us, like the short answer would be up to the budget. After that budget gets passed or gets defeated, then we'll have to regroup and see where we are at that time. But we feel pretty confident that there's some things that are going to happen. Thankfully, we're in a minority parliament. Thankfully, Dalton McGuinty didn't get that extra seat and can ram this down our throats like Stephen Harper's trying to do throughout the country. So thankfully, we're in a minority government position.